on again. If you had somehow forgotten, this is Speedrun Ragnarok 2022. We're raising money for Take This. Those of you curious, Speedrun Ragnarok is run by the TheRPGValkyries. The TheRPGValkyries are an inclusive group of female and femme-leaning speedrunners who all love and run RPGs. If you'd like to join their Discord, please use !Discord for the link in chat. The Discord is open to all people and all genders. So, coming up next, we've got Zelo running Double Dragon 2. Zelo, if you'd like to introduce yourself and what you're going to be showing off for us tonight.
Yes, thank you, Kerlon. Hi, everyone. I'm Zelo. I'm back for more. So we actually have a double feature right here. We've got going to be running Double Dragon 2. I'm going to be playing the Wii VC version, but it's pretty much the exact same as the NES version. And then afterwards, we're going to do Ernest Evans on Genesis. So we can go ahead and get started right here. Let me just go ahead and reset. So this is a really great beat 'em up, released on NES on 1989 by Technos. I'm going to be playing on Supreme Master difficulty. It's the only difficulty that plays the full game out. So we'll be playing through all 9 missions and just pretty much just go to the end of the game if it's any %. So we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the main attack you're going to see right here is the Flying Knee. It's by far the most powerful attack in the game. It's very tricky to do because you can only do it off of the crouching animation, and there's only about 4 frames of input that you have available to you in order to be able to attack enemies with it. But it's used for both movement and combat, so it's incredibly handy. So we have that. We do have some other power moves too, like this Hurricane Kick right here. And then we'll have some uppercuts, and we won't really use the standard attacks too much. But a lot of this game is optimizing positions. This game is pretty consistent with where enemies spawn, but there's a lot of randomness in how enemies react. So we just kind of want to try and deal with enemies right when they come on screen when possible. And that way it cuts down a lot on the randomness. So these 2 ropers right here, they might duck under my knees. It's a pretty good chance for enemies to be able to duck under your knees. And they just end up kind of whiffing, but thankfully that didn't happen.
So I noticed you don't care about weapon drops.
No, the weapons in this game are generally not used in a run. You can throw the pipes and those will kill the Williamses, but it's faster to just knee them. Anyways, here's Burn Off, the first boss. It's normally very slow to kill him, because whenever you damage him enough, he starts getting he ends up in a very long recovery animation. So we're actually just going to lure him over to the left side right here, and just knee him right off the edge if I can. There we go. So that skips that entire recovery animation, having to whittle down the rest of the health, which is pretty nice. Alright, since this is a marathon and there's no easily accessible continue code, this game's not the most marathon safe thing, so I'm going to skip a couple of death abuses I'd normally do in order to just save some extra lives. So thankfully there are some great backup strats that have been developed over the years. Big shoutouts to the OG runners like Sinister One and Honorable J and Hydridge for a lot of the original strats. And then people like Yukionic and Buys are like the new runners that came in, and they've like really optimized this game. Like they're by far the 2 strongest runners. So big shoutouts to all of them for their work on this game over the years. So the boss fight at the end of this one is going to be 2 ninjas. This is a completely consistent fight as long as I execute properly, so hopefully we're going to get this soon. Alright, good. Yeah, so if the ninjas manage to get away, they are very scary because they move way faster than you. They can hit you right when you wake up, and it's just a complete mess. So thankfully we got that without any problems. So the gimmick of the next level is you're in this helicopter, and the door opens every once in a while. And unfortunately, I've already missed the first knee, so we're going to be on kind of a bad set of cycles here. This right hand is not cooperating either. So we're going to see where these Abobos are. I might be able to get the second one out the door. I'm gonna see where the door's opening. The first one ended up out the door. Which was kind of unfortunate because he was already dead. But no big deal. The second one ended up out the door too. That's a really unfortunate waste of time if they end up out the door when they're already dead because you have to wait for the door to close before anything else can happen. So we're going to skip another death abuse here. You could jump in the water at the very bottom, and that would manipulate these ropers into always walking towards you when you respawn. But thankfully they gave me a pretty good pattern, so it's okay. Now I want to keep these Lindas on the right side of the screen by not scrolling the screen too far. Otherwise they start spawning on the left and it wastes a lot of time to chase them down. Alright, so the bottom of this area is a little tricky because anytime I jump, I actually do hit the ceiling and bonk, and that doesn't cause any damage, but it does stumble me into the crouch animation, which can be good, because you can do the knee off of any crouch animation. It doesn't have to necessarily be off of a jump. It can be when you're standing up, or even if you're coming up from taking damage. So we'll use that to our advantage a little bit later. I'm going to punch this Arnold that's off screen here. There we go. These crushers are on global cycles right here, so we can run right under this one. So I'm going to use this space in the middle right here to be able to make jumps and do my knees. Do one spin kick here, and then a power uppercut to finish him off. Hopefully we can get ahead of this Abobo. If that Abobo gets mad like he did, then he just ends up countering you with a combo. So, that went okay. And we didn't fail the conveyor belt jump, so that's good. I failed that a lot more often than I'd like to admit. Alright, so coming into Mission 5, I can talk a little bit about health. The enemy types have... They'll do the same things with the different enemy types, so they're actually programmed with different amounts of health for each individual spawn. So that roper I just yeeted into the water off screen actually has 0 health for whatever reason. But if you manage to reduce an enemy to 0 health, or they start with 0 health, you still actually have to knock them down in order to get the kill. So just a little bit of weirdness with this game. Try and get these ropers off the vines early. There we go. Now, I've always liked doing this part of the run, just because we get to knock 2 Abobos off using the Hurricane Kick. And it's very amusing when that happens. So hopefully he'll just not duck under this. Mistimed on my part. That's okay. We'll knock him away with a knee. There we go. Just comes right out and just takes a kick to the face. Alright, so this is going to be the first time we see the chins. The chins have some pretty annoying properties. They like to back up a lot, and they also have a kind of a jump attack where they can dive in and just kind of ignore your knee hitboxes. That actually went really well. So we'll see them a few more times, but that's probably one of the more difficult encounters we get with them. So I'm going to do a very specific strat on the train right here when I get to the Arnold spawn at the very end. I'm going to try and uppercut him to the right, and then I can use 2 knees to knock him to the left. That way he doesn't fall off the train. Perfect. Alright, so coming up to Mansion. This is going to be my only death abuse for this run right here. I'm going to death abuse right here to respawn close to these platforms. And I also get invincibility, so I can avoid the luck from the torch cycles, because the torch usually just drops right on top of you and you die falling into the pit. So taking the death abuse right there is not only faster, it's also safer, since you don't have to worry about the RNG. So this is a pretty short level. There is a really cool trick in this level that unfortunately I'm not consistent at, so I'm not going to go for it. But you can get to the exit early. The exit has this really... It's on this really high platform you'll see right here. And if you manage to jump from the lower platform, like not only pixel perfect, but with good subpixels, you can actually jump into the exit from the bottom right here and end the level like 10 seconds early. But the way to do that is very specific. and you still have to have the subpixels line up properly, and there's a method for measuring your subpixels, but I haven't been able to properly learn it, so we're skipping out. Okay, so this is the longest level in the run for sure, coming into Trap Room. We've got another burn off right here. Gonna hopefully get around him. It's good that he ducked right there, because that means I could get around him and knee him off to the side. So this is the animation that we skipped in Mission 1. Like, it takes a while for him to actually die. So this room thankfully has no RNG, but if I mess it up, we're on bad cycles. Okay, got out of that room okay. So falling off either of the upper gears is pretty much death. So it's a very punishing room to die in. So these ropers have a ton of health, so we're just going to try and just get them over the edge without falling off by the flames. They also throw dynamite, and dynamite is really, really laggy in this game. I'm just trying to keep them over there. There we go. And here's the last room in the level. This is just a big arena with a bunch of fighting. So the Williams
Would now be a good time to sneak in with some donos?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Well, we've gotten a bunch. Drumbo has donated $100. Thank you. Sparkover donated 20, noting I joked with Dot about how I'd put money on someone requesting Virus Funk for the new Bear song during my block, but nobody did. So here's my dollars. Thank you so much for the lovely support during my block, everyone, and good luck, Zillow.
Thank you. So interestingly enough, when that right arm, the two right arms spawned, I have never seen that top one actually end up jumping up to the top of the ledge. So more marathon firsts. Getting a lot of those this year. All right, so this Arnold is the very end of the level, so we're just gonna knock him against the wall a bunch. So actually went very, very well.
Yeah, you've now exceeded how far me and my friends ever got when we played casual.
It's a tough game. It's surprisingly tricky, especially if you're not good at timing the knee. And the knee is not the most it's not the easiest thing to perform consistently. Alright, so this is the last main level. It's just going to be a bunch of fighting against a bunch of higher tier enemies. So we're going to hopefully knock this right arm over. This also has one of the scariest fighting scenes coming up. We're going to have 2 sets of ninjas at the very end after this wave. I'm going to be doing a slightly different strat than I did in Mission 2. I'm going to try and do a jump kick to knock them down, and then we're going to knee them, and that does do enough damage to kill them, but the timing on it's very tricky. So we're going to just pray for the best right here once I get this Obobo knocked down. Alright, so let's see how this goes.
Yeah, someone asked in chat, isn't the knee interval only about 4 frames?
Yeah, it's a 4-frame window. It's kind of weird because this game, every other frame is apparently a lag frame. I had to do the backup right here, but this is fine. So your inputs can be eaten pretty easily. So you just have to remember to just kind of hold the buttons, both the B and A buttons down whenever you're doing moves, just to make sure you're not getting eaten by lag. Alright, so we're fighting our Shadow. Shadow can do this, which is really annoying, just kind of disappear and just go away. It's a big waste of time. It's not a very hard fight. It's just kind of a time waster, but that fight went pretty well aside from the disappearance. Alright, and that brings us to the last level right here. So we have the fight against the Shadow Warrior, and he is a jerk. He can disappear the first phase of the fight, so we're going to hope that he doesn't do that. He can also backflip away from your knees, which makes it very scary. So we're going to hopefully just pin him against the corner right here. He knocked me down once, so timing's a little off now. The thing is, you have a bunch of health, technically. Like, you have, like, I think 128 points of health. So it's represented by those 8 little bars at the bottom on the left. The Shadow Warrior's, like, super attack does 3 of those bars. It's the most damaging attack in the entire game. He can also just combo you to death if he wants. So, we're already in phase 2, thankfully, so he's no longer going to disappear. So this makes it easier. And time's going to come up when the screen fades to black. Time.
Nicely done.
Thank you. So overall, pretty decent run. This game's very, very rife with RNG, and execution's not the easiest, but that was pretty solid. Didn't have any unintentional deaths, so couldn't be happier about that. So that is Double Dragon 2. I guess we'll go ahead and move on to Ernest Evans. Were we actually going to break between them? Or do you want me to just go ahead and boot up?
If you're gonna give me the opportunity, I'm gonna take advantage of it.
Yeah, go for it. And I'll go ahead and boot up.
Got another donation in from Zokun, $25, saying, "Hi, Zelo. Thanks for being a fantastic friend and wishing you all the luck. I hear you'll need it.